Hey y'all, welcome back to the garage. Not working on any Corvettes right now, but we are getting some parts replaced on the OBS Ford. That is long overdue. We're replacing this really beat up and concaved tailgate that's been on this truck ever since I've owned it. And I just finally got around to going, you know what, I'm gonna buy a new tailgate and get this thing swapped over. So I got a new tailgate over here, picked this up off of Amazon. I'll put a link down below. Fairly inexpensive, and we're gonna go through real quick just how you swap these things out. So I've already done a little bit of disassembly on this just to make things go a little quicker. As you can see, I've taken this panel off. Gives us access to the linkage. And here is our linkage here. When you pull the handle, it'll pull both sides, releasing the locks on the left and right side and dropping your tailgate down. And this linkage has to come apart to get this out of here. And what I've done is, you can see right here is I've cleaned up these threads pretty good, and I've marked these with an orange paint marker because these are gonna have to come out of the keepers. So I don't have to go back and do a bunch of adjusting and things like that. I know right where to put those, so I've marked both of these on either side. We're gonna go ahead and pop these tabs loose and get the linkage loose. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the nuts off of the bolt plate here, and that should drop our handle out. So let's get started. So first thing, let's get this linkage popped apart, and to do that, they got a little tab down bottom, and all you gotta do is just pry on it gently, and that'll come right open. You go ahead and pry on that linkage just a little. Now to finish getting the linkage out of our way, what we're gonna have to do is, if you look right here, there's a couple of wedge clamps that keep the linkage in place and keep it from bouncing around against the metal, making a bunch of noise. All you gotta do, take a pair of needle nose, squeeze it, and push it on down through the hole. Now that we got this out, we're gonna just slightly push this rod down and pull up on the other end so that we can lift it up and over and set it down in there. And then we'll be able to pull these linkage rods and everything out of the ends. We'll get to that in a second. But the first thing we're gonna do is finish getting this handle off now that this is all disconnected. And that's gonna be a 10 millimeter. I've already taken one of the nuts off of here. One of the other things you wanna do too, especially on something this old, before you even start taking it apart, go over it with some penetrating oil, some PB Blaster, WD-40, 10W30, vegetable oil, it doesn't matter. Just something slippery. The lubricants will penetrate the plastic. They'll be less prone to breaking, but it's also a good idea just to lube up everything. Okay, so there's our mechanism. That's out of there. And go ahead and drop our handle, and then you'll just let that come right on out, and there's your handle. Already taken these torque screws out of here, and if we grab this with a little bit of finagling, you should be able to just pull that right on out. And that's it right there. We go ahead and hit the other side, and we'll start swapping this to the new tailgate. Right, over at the new tailgate, we're gonna take our linkage, fish it right through the hole there. And on this, I'm gonna go ahead and install the limiter cable so that when I hang this tailgate, I got something to support it from. I'm going to take that rod And I'm gonna set it up on the shelf right here. And then I'm gonna find that pinch clamp. Go ahead and push that through. And we'll start tightening this down. Getting back over to the handle. We're gonna take the handle here, go from the outside and rock that right in. Get our linkage put in place first. All right, got that one back where it's supposed to go. This one's lined up with the paint marks. We're gonna pop it back down in there. Go ahead and push the tabs down. Then rock our handle back up to where it's supposed to go. Put our 10mm nuts back on there. Now at this point, we're just gonna double check everything, make sure it does what it's supposed to. Got nothing binding. We're just about ready to install the cover panel on this, but let me show you so nobody makes a mistake on a new piece of sheet metal or tailgate. There we go. Okay, so we got our cover panel. This bolts right through here, covers all the linkage, keeps dirt and everything from getting to it. But the mounting holes are just holes in the sheet metal. And when you have these, basically what you'll use, a coarse thread fastener. And when you put these in, you don't want to use an impact, you want to use them by hand because you can strip out the sheet metal pretty easy. And if you strip it out, you can fix it. Basically, you put a piece of metal underneath here, get yourself a hammer, start smacking it until the hole closes back up again, and then put your coarse thread fastener back in again. But always do it by hand, because if you use an impact, you're pretty well guaranteed to strip these things out. Then while you're putting the fasteners in, leave all of your fasteners loose until you get them in all the way down. And once they're all in and lined up and the panel's lined up and centered, then go back and start at one end and tighten them down all the way across. Now that all those fasteners are in, we're just gonna finish tightening them down the last little bit. And if you've ever done a tailgate by yourself, you know that the limiter cables like to get in the way. Let me go ahead and just take a piece of tape, tape them in place while I'm getting the tailgate lined up on the pivot dowels. Now, if you haven't done a tailgate before, one side goes in before the other. Try and do this without scratching anything. Now that's on the pins. Go ahead and put a little grease or oil on the strikers. Let's see how it does. Oh, that looks so much better. And just that simple, folks. We got a fresh new tailgate. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna get on to the next repair. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.